Hi guys, and welcome to my review of Christmas with the Kranks, a movie that I first watched in high school, and I've watched it a few times afterwards as well. I don't know, I don't know if I'd put this in my top five though. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies, but I just don't know if it's like top five though. Nah, but yeah, it's still good to watch if you've never seen it before. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna be covering the base story right now, and then I'll talk about the cast, and then I guess spoilers, if I can even say spoilers for this movie. Lol. And then my final thoughts on the movie and the rating I'd give it. As a Christmas movie, anyway. But yeah. So yeah, basically the story is that basically a husband and a wife always like celebrates Christmas for his community. And like they also give money to charity and all this stuff. And then one time when their daughter kind of goes off, like basically goes somewhere, they decide that they should go somewhere too, and then the whole community isn't really happy with that. So yeah, basically the community is not really happy with them. They're not going to celebrate Christmas this year. Like they're just turning down things. So basically they're just like just treat them like they're Grinches or something. Mostly the husband, since it was mainly his idea for them to go off on a holiday or something. They was going to go on like a cruise or something. At first, I guess the wife isn't happy about that as well. But she kind of starts to get into the idea until things get really intense with the neighbors. Because I guess they love Christmas, and without them, I guess it's not the same, especially without the daughter as well. But yeah, I'll get to the rest of the story once I talk about spoilers. Then, yeah, because that's just the base story. Basically, they don't want to celebrate Christmas, so their neighbors kind of get annoyed with them, especially since I guess they're not really going to put up Frosty, which is something that they always do. That gets them on the nerves though. But yeah, I'm just going to talk about the casting. All right, so with the cast, we have Tim Allen, Luther Crank as the dad, Jamie Lee Curtis, Nora Crank as the mother, Julie Gonzalo, Blair Crank as the daughter, Dan Aykroyd, Vic Formaya, the guy who is proper into the Christmas spirit, but we'll get to him later. Eric Persullivan, Spike Formaya. Yeah, I mean, him from Malcolm in the Middle, and he still looks the same now. Emmett Walsh, Walt Shield, like he's not really a big fan of, I guess, Luther Crank in the movie. And since this movie's like 15, 16 years old, I think that the actor's possibly, sadly, passed away. Same with let me just see, because, yeah, Bev Shield, like the wife to, Walt Shield. Yeah, I'm not really sure about her, but she was a nice lady in the movie. Then there's Jake Busey, Officer Tyreen, and Jeets Marine, Officer Salino. Yeah, they're kind of a funny duo in the movie. Oh yeah, then there's Wen Loven, Enrique Decado. I don't know if I could see the whole name anyway, if I said that one. But yeah, that's basically the daughter's boyfriend, who they kind of tell us about as the movie goes on. Yeah. And it's kind of like a surprise as well for the parents. Yeah. Then there's Austin Pendleton as Marty. Yeah, he's kind of a mysterious character, and it isn't really until the third act, like the last, should I say, 40 minutes of the movie, like we start to piece together who this guy really is. Yeah. I'm just gonna see if there's any more down here. Candy, she has like one funny scene. Father Sabrisky. Oh yeah, there's Mark Christopher, but he's not really proper in the movie really. And Docs. But yeah, Ross Trogan, he basically gets a tree from, well, basically the dad gets a tree from this guy because he's going on holiday as well with his wife, Docs, played by Ben Watson. So yeah, because there's basically something that happens, but I'll get to that in spoilers. Also, what's the funny thing with Dawn Didarik? Or wait, let me just go back. Candy. I don't think Candy did it. I think it was because the shopper. Yeah, it's a funny scene with the wife. Yeah, Lois Strode. I said Lois Strode like it's like that's her name. It's just what I know it as. Yeah, so I can't help it sometimes. Yeah, the rest of the cast I like. just people who are there really. Because yeah, the main ones are the husband and the wife, the daughter who isn't in the movie until I guess the last 30-20 minutes. You do see at the beginning going on, leaving the family, but then she comes back, which I just kind of gave away like what's a part of what's gonna happen though. Lol. And then Vic Frommer is the one who wants them to celebrate Christmas. Yeah. And I guess I could get into story stuff now if I really wanted to. Yeah, I could because the rest of the characters are just like there, and that's about it. I did mention the main ones. Yeah, so Luther, Nora, Blair, Vic, Spike, Walt. I guess the officers, Marty, they're the main ones. So I guess I'll just get into the whole story. So, all right, so I'm getting to spoilers now. So basically, they both want to go on a well. It was mainly the husband's idea because they basically celebrate Christmas every year, and then this one time, I guess the neighbors what did I say, overreact? But come on, like, well, with that kind of neighborhood, who are like very close together, I guess that must have been a huge shock to them, especially with how active they actually are in Christmas. Maybe more the wife than the husband. But yeah, he just wanted to go on holiday for once. Maybe he wasn't truly in the Christmas spirit. But yeah, like it's the moment once the daughter phones. That's when they kind of because like before then like they're just trying to avoid the neighbors, but it's not really working out for them. Just stalking them out. Just the neighbors being shocked that they're not really doing the traditions that they normally follow, and not throwing a party, not buying calendars, not buying a tree. Just avoiding everyone really, and then it even starts to affect the husband's work as well, with how that interacting with him. And the wife, like, she's just scared to go outside because all of them are just like watching the house, I guess, especially since they want Frosty up. Yeah. So then she tries to sneak out. Lol. And then it eventually gets to a point where, when the daughter phones, and then that's the second act. Like, that's the funniest part of the movie when they're trying to, you know, set up Christmas because this was like, because that was weeks earlier. And when I told everyone that they're not celebrating Christmas, and then when the daughter phones and says that, the boyfriend's going to be coming with them as well, and they possibly could get married, like, just all that news, and then the daughter asks like, oh, like, are we going to be celebrating the things that we usually celebrate, like party and everything, having a Pacific ham and everything. Yeah, they had a lot to do, and it was coming back tonight as well. So yeah, it's just like the chaotic setup to everything. Lol. It was very enjoyable. Yeah, before the daughter actually phoned him, yeah, this guy was just really on them, just trying to make them get back into the Christmas spirit. He was not letting anyone in that neighborhood get away with not celebrating Christmas for some reason. Also, behind him, the Mark Man middle kid, Spike. That's his name in the movie. Yeah, he was kind of helping him at the same time. Lol. And then when it gets to the point where they're actually celebrating Christmas, I guess he helps Blair steal the Christmas tree. Well, it's not really stealing because the neighbor gave him the key to actually go in his house and take the tree, but he has to put it back so then the wife doesn't notice anything. And he kind of helps with that. So yeah, I just like how he just runs away when the cops arrive. Those two cops who I was talking about before. Yeah. So then he gets arrested, but then like saves him. But yeah, this guy, yeah, just really wants them to celebrate Christmas. So he's just on their tails like constantly. And it's kind of really hard to escape him, especially the Christmas Carol scene. And he just joins in every chance he can to make him celebrate Christmas, really, since that's what he really wants. Especially for them to at least, for the most part, bring out Frosty, since he's just like in their basement. Yeah, it's just funny what they do with Frosty in this as well, with those evil eyes. Like, it's not like in the family, especially the husband. And when we get to that scene which I guess I'm just going to bring up now. And it's like when they actually start to celebrate Christmas and, set things up really late. So yeah, this is the part when the husband Blade tries to put up Frosty. Yeah, he has a hard time doing it, and it seems like Frosty's trying to kill him. Where you just see the eyes, just burning, and they burn brighter and brighter until he like falls down. Then it gets just then Frosty breaks, but then he gets tied up in the rope while falling, so he's kind of stuck there until the ambulance and stuff arrive. Yeah, that was a funny scene. And then there's the scene with I was gonna say Lauren. I was gonna say it again. Norah. Yeah, the scene with Norah where she's trying to get the ham that the daughter really likes. But then like there's one shopper who's trying to get the same ham, so they kind of have like a contest together to get the ham. And then just ends up her getting mashed up into the shopping stuff. And then she tries to buy the ham from someone, and then I think she pretty much spends over like 1,000 or something. I have no idea how much she pays for just a ham from someone. And then when she gets outside, she drops it into the road. It just like moves by itself up until it gets to the point where a truck's about to run it over. She tries to reach for it, but that's too dangerous. So then it just gets destroyed, and then her reaction is so priceless. And yeah, there's also the scene when Blair gets her Botox and his face just stuck like this, and then when he's trying to eat, it's like nearly choking. Like, this was kind of a random scene when I first watched it in high school. Like, it was just very random. Moving on. All right, so Spike. Oh yeah, so there's a scene where when his so this is basically at the time where everyone's getting ready to set up the pie and everything, and then the cops basically while they're transporting the daughter and her boyfriend back home, but they're moving slowly because they're trying to buy time, and so the parents and everyone else can sell pins. Yeah, they basically it gets to a point where they kind of find a crime happening, but they didn't realize it was going to turn into something kind of big, where someone's trying to rob somewhere. And then they capture him, and then the daughter and boyfriend just freak out. Like the other one the boyfriend just cries like a girl. No. But then when they arrive home and the party's all set up, basically, Spike sees him, and then the robber kind of tells him like a sob story that like he hasn't really ate in 7 days, and then he just believes it. 7 days. And then he said like he was giving most of the food to his kids and stuff, and he just wanted them to have a good Christmas. So he kind of tells that lie to Spike, which, if I was a kid, I don't know if I'd believe that. I don't know if I'd be that gullible, but who knows when you're a kid? You kind of believe a lot of things when you're a kid. So, yeah. It's understandable that Spike did that, so basically let him out the car. And it seems like he was going to actually be genuinely honest to him because Spike just wanted him to at least get some food from the place. But then he sees him again stealing, and that doesn't really work out. Then he just starts screaming, and then oh yeah, Marty. I didn't really talk about Marty that much. Oh yeah, so this is guy Marty. Like we actually first see him at the beginning where there's this guy who's trying to sell umbrellas, but we don't realize that's him until later on when he stops the criminal. Which yeah, he's the one who stops the criminal. And then we see the second time we see Marty because the first time he's trying to give the husband an umbrella because he kind of makes, I don't know if he makes a lot of money from selling umbrellas, but yeah, we see him later on buying some alcohol, but he's not really wearing no Santa hat or anything. And yeah, just everyone's just like, who is this guy? Because he just knows so much about him, and no one recognizes him. Like not the mother, not the daughter, the husband. But it's kind of funny that Enrique kind of gets on with him since he actually speaks his language as well. But yeah, everyone's just like, who is this guy? But yeah, the wife meets him in the mall when I think was that at the time when she was just getting some bits and bats, and she just runs into him and invites him to the party. But yeah. And then like I said, at the end, that's when he stops the robber with an umbrella of all things. which is kind of funny. But yeah, I was mainly supposed to be talking about Spike, but yeah, because yeah, he was fun to see in this movie. You know, he was so funny in Malcolm in the Middle, and yeah, it's a decent role in this movie. But yeah, like I don't know if we were trying to say that basically Marty was Santa Claus, and then Frosty, like it seems like at some moments he's alive. But yeah, I'm just gonna move on closer to the most heartfelt moment of the movie. But yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the neighbors that I guess one of them that Blair isn't really fond of. The husband, because the wife she seems like a nice lady, like I said, and we kind of find out that well Noah finds out that the wife's actually going through something, like she's not really feeling well, she's actually ill. So it would be nice if they could have like some time together somewhere, since they don't really like big crowds and stuff. So like I'll get to that part on the next thing before I talk about the ending and stuff. Since that's kind of close to the ending as well. So yeah, because basically I guess Blair and this guy don't really get on. So like he always calls him old man. He calls Blair old man, so he kind of doesn't like that. And then he tries to get back on him as well. Yeah, I guess those two will never really get on, even with that ending, which I'll get to. But yeah, also the cat. Yeah, like Blair is not really a big fan of their cats. It kind of really annoys them. Well, not annoys them, just the husband. It's always the husband. Like he's the one who's the Grinch of the movie. Which yeah, I'll be reviewing the Grinch probably next. Lol. But yeah, I guess I could get to the part where they form some sort of truths. Yeah, ish. Lol. All right. So yeah, this is definitely the part of the movie which definitely touched my heart. Well, more like the second time I watched it, because the first time was in school, and so you know, it's not like I was proper paying attention to the movie back then. When people were just like talking in class and stuff. Because this was like just a holiday movie they put on, and I didn't really pay attention to it the first time. But yeah, watching it the second time, it definitely touched my heart because you just know how these two wasn't really getting on. And then he was kind of like when it got to the point where things basically came together with the party and everything, and it was basically celebrating another great Christmas with his family and the community. You just saw those two just left by themselves, and he kind of know what they're going through with the wife being sick and how he must feel. So what he does is actually gives the things that he set with his holiday, and he gives it to like them, and then they're just so thankful for that, man. Because this might be the last time you actually get to have a really good time with his wife, because there's a chance that she might have passed away like possibly a year or two later, which sucks to think about every time I rewatch the movie, because who knows, she might not have got better. And he even, because Blair even wants to look after the cat for them, since he didn't really have like a sitter or anything, just so they can definitely go on a holiday, because like the husband wasn't really accepting it, but Blair basically convinced him in the end to take it. Yeah, and they were just so thankful. They was in tears. And yeah, that was a really nice move, like part of the movie. Yeah. So yeah, the daughter does make it home with her boyfriend. Everyone's happy to see each other. Well, I guess Blair's kind of suspicious with the boyfriend, but he seems like a nice guy. And I did say like before that Marty kind of gets on with him since he's been to his country before and speaks the language. And everyone's just playing stuff, like even the guy who's so buggy about Christmas. Like, everyone's just getting on. Yeah, it's just a really good movie when it comes to the celebration of Christmas with community. Like that's the best thing about this movie. I think it was more like Deck the Halls that truly shows how good Christmas can be with decorations. But, but yeah, with this movie, it's definitely like the community coming together. That's the best thing. And yeah, that's my review of Christmas with the Cranks. I'm not really sure if this is shorter until like I put everything together, but yeah, it's definitely a movie that I still enjoy now. I can still watch this some Christmases. Not I can't say it all the time, but yeah. It is a good Christmas movie, and if you haven't seen it before, I definitely recommend it because it's fun to watch. And it's really good to get you in the Christmas mood, I guess. It's not one of the best, but yeah, it's a good start, I'd say. And then if you're someone who's leaving the best Christmas movies, like the best Christmas movies for a bit later near Christmas, it's good to start with this one then, because this is just an okay Christmas movie, nothing brilliant. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.